Okay, the order of operations, we're going a little bit much more in depth. So remember what we said. You said parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So that's the order of operation. Now taking a little bit farther, let's proceed. The order of operation simply means, based on what we did on the previous video, that we followed from left to right to get our solution, and we followed PEMDAS. Well, what is PEMDAS? Well, the order of operations: parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. PEMDAS, that is PEMDAS. Okay, so in other words, when we look at PEMDAS, we're going to say parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. If you have multiplication and division at the same line or on the same part of the problem, then you can work them at the same time. Likewise with addition and subtraction. So this is not much for us to remember. Just remember the acronym PEMDAS: parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and addition, subtraction. Alright, that's what that means. So let's work some examples. Example 1. And here we'll be starting from the basic and going up to the most complicated problem. Okay, so our example will be as follows. Consider that we have 25 minus 6 times 3. What is our solution? Well, remember we are dealing with PEMDAS, so my advice will be as for you to do this. Write out PEMDAS and see what then happens. PE. Notice I'm going to use red for multiplication and division because they are both at the same spot, and addition and subtraction in the same spot, meaning then they can be worked together if they are on the same level. So how do I use PEMDAS here? Well, first of all, we look at the problem and we see, is there any parentheses here? No, so therefore this is out of the question. Any exponents? No, so this is out of the question. Multiplication and division? Oh yes, we do have multiplication. Now remember, we are going from left towards our right hand side. This is our left going towards right, so therefore we need to multiply first. So how do we go about to the next step? Well, bring down the 25 minus, and here you're going to write the solution of 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is going to give us 18, and then that will give us 25 take away. Now notice it's addition and subtraction because there's no division. But do we have addition? No, but we have subtraction, so now we can work with subtraction. 25 take away 18, that will give us 7, and that's our solution. So therefore this is what I want you to do whenever you work in this problem. I want to see steps. So these are steps that you will need to be writing out to get your answer as well as your points. Okay, so that's our solution for that one there. So let's try another one. So the other one that we are going to be working with, okay, so our other example, we have 6 plus 12 divided by 9 take away 2 to the second power equals. Well, how do we work this out? My advice again, write out PEMDAS. PE. You don't have to use different color pen. I'm using so as to differentiate it so you can see it. Alright, so then let's go. Do we have any parentheses here in the problem? No, so this is out. Remember, we're going from left to right. Is there any exponents? From left going towards our right hand side. Aha, we do have an exponent. Now remember, problems like this in the previous weeks, we had a -2 squared. What is our solution? Right, so therefore we will be working with the exponent part. So how do we go about to the next step? Well, bring down everything except this piece here. So we bring down 6 plus 12 divided by 9 minus 2 squared is going to give us 4 equals. Now remember, this minus just came down because this minus is different from this 2, right? Now, so we have done exponents. Now, is there multiplication? No, multiplication is out. Is there any division? Yes. So we'll be working with this division part. Okay, so then this is saying division comes now. So how do we go to the next step? We'll just bring down the 6 because nothing happened to that 6, and we say now 12 divided by 9. Okay, now 12 divided by 9 is going to give us what? 12 divided by 9, well, that is just simply going to give us 12 over 9, and we say take away 4. Okay, that's not a problem. No one said that this cannot be a fraction. This can still be a fraction. Now remember, when we had fractions, what do we do? We can reduce it to lowest terms or simply change it to a mixed number. That is up to you. So therefore, if we notice here, we end up with 12 over 9, and 12 over 9 is actually reduced by 3. That gives us 4, 3, or 1 and 1/3. Okay, so therefore this 12 over 9 is actually 1 and 1/3, or 4 over 3. So let's put it 6 plus 1 and 1/3 take away 4 equals, I'm just writing 12 over 9 here. Nothing in PEMDAS says that, but the thing is that we have done the division. So now we're going to go to addition and subtraction. Again, go from your left towards your right hand side. 6 plus 1 and 1/3, that is going to give us 7 and 1/3 take away 4. Alright, and then it's subtraction. There's no more addition, so addition has gone. We're now left with subtraction. 7 and 1/3 take away 4 is going to give us 3 and 1/3, and that's our solution. Okay, so that's our solution for that problem there. So remember, what did we do here? We look at PEMDAS. Was there any parentheses? No. Are there exponents? Yes. So we work the exponent part. Then we said, okay, since we end up with this now, we're going to say now we work with the exponent, we end up with this, and then multiplication, division. Is there any multiplication? No. Division? Yes. So we work with the division. We end up with this. Then we finish converting the 12 over 9 to 1 and 1/3, or 4 over 3. Then we add the 6 plus the 1 and 1/3, which gave us 7 and 1/3, take away 4, which is then 3 and 1/3, and that's our solution for that one there. So we go to the next example now. The next example starts a little bit more complicated, but not to say cannot be solved. Once we use the order of operation, everything is possible. So this is our other example. Was I labeling them? No, I just put example. So let's put this over another example. And this example, say we have 54 divided by 3 squared times 1 close bracket. That's our problem. Now, what does the PEMDAS say? Well, let's write it out. PEMDAS. So then, do we have any parentheses? Yes, this is our parentheses. So despite we have division comes after parentheses. Okay, so we have to work everything in the parentheses. So how do we work this out? Well, imagine that 54 divided by isn't there. Just imagine this piece which is inside of parentheses. So this now you need to apply PEMDAS inside of this parentheses. So if we had addition here, you will need to do the addition before you come out of the parentheses. So therefore, we go and look inside. Well, we are inside of the parentheses. Well, what comes after parentheses? Exponents. Well, exponents are here inside. So we're going to say 3 squared first of all. So how do we work this out? Well, bring down the 54. That is okay. And then we're going to say now 3 squared. Well, 3 is the exponent. So, 3 is the base to the second power exponent. So we end up with 9 times 1 equals. So we finish with that one there, but still within the parentheses. So we continue working. Now it says multiplication inside out of the parentheses. Remember, parentheses is still there. So we end up with 54 divided by 9 times 1 gives us 9. So we end up getting rid of our parentheses part. So now, do we have any more exponents outside? No. Multiplication? No. Division? Yes. So therefore we are at the division part. So we say 54 divided by 9, which will give us 6, and that's our solution. So let's go back and recall how we work this out. We look at the problem. Is there any parentheses? Yes, so we took at the parentheses problem. When we look at the parentheses part, we look inside of the parentheses and we follow the order of operation. This piece which is inside, it is independent from what is outside, but you need to work whatever is in parentheses. So what is in parentheses here? 3 squared times 1. So there's no more parentheses inside, so we say the exponent inside, which is 3 squared, which is 9, times multiplication. 9 times 1 gives us 9. So we know we got rid of the parentheses. So now we end up with 54 divided by 9, and that is now division, which gives us 6. Okay, so the next problem, next example will be as follows. Example, we start to get a little bit more, much more in depth, much more complicated problems, right? So we have the other example as 54 take away 2 squared dot 3, which means multiplication, divided by 6 equals. Well, let's write PEMDAS. See how that works again. PEMDAS. Now this symbol here, which is dot, people use the dot or the asterisk to mean multiply or multiplication. In higher level maths, this is what you will be using. You will not be using the X to represent multiplication, because that will cause confusion, especially in algebra. Okay, so consider here this dot to represent multiplication or the asterisk to represent multiplication. So we look at PEMDAS. What does PEMDAS says? Parentheses first. Excellent. So what we do, we need to work with whatever is inside of the parentheses. So let's bring down the 54, the minus, the division by 6, parentheses till it. According to whatever is inside, we have exponents. Exponent inside of the parentheses. So therefore we must do the exponents first before this multiplication. And 2 squared is going to give us 4 times 3. We're still in the parentheses. Now we do multiplication, which is in the parentheses. Bring down the 54 again. And we say 4 times 3, which is 12 divided by 6. So that's up to this part. Now we have subtraction and division. So we have gotten rid of the bracket information and we did inside of the bracket. Now we have 54 minus 12 divided by 6. So therefore, what's our next step? Well, according to PEMDAS, it means multiplication and division. Division is here and division is done before subtraction. So therefore, remember we're going from left to right. Bring on the 54 and we say now 12 divided by 6 will give us 2 equals. So now with that, 54 take away 2 will give us now solution 52, and that's our solution for that problem there. Okay, so now we go to another example. This is a little bit more complicated, but like I said, once we follow the rule of PEMDAS, we should have no problem getting our solution. Consider that we have 3 plus parenthesis 6 squared divided by 4 close bracket and another big bracket here for parenthesis. They're doing the same thing, equals. Well, it looks complicated, but don't worry, we'll be working them piece by piece. So let's bring back Mr. PEMDAS. Well, according to PEMDAS, we say that parenthesis first, and there is a big parenthesis, so therefore we need to go with the inside parenthesis now. So when we look at the inside piece, what do we see? We see another parenthesis inside, so we cannot add here. We must now go inside of the parenthesis, which is now this piece here. Okay, but when we are inside of this parenthesis, we notice now that we have an exponent, and according to PEMDAS, here you need to apply PEMDAS inside of it too. So when we apply PEMDAS here, we notice that the exponent must be first. So how do you work this out? Well, we say 6 squared. 6 squared is going to give us 36 divided by 4. We are keeping that piece there. I'm going to write the rest in red so we can see what we are working at this time. Whatever is in red, we are not touching yet. Only whatever is in blue. Okay? Because it says parentheses and then parentheses inside. So now this parenthesis needs to be worked with before the outside parentheses. So we say now 36 divided by 4, that gives us 9. So now we have plus 3 minus 2 equals. Okay, so now we have all of them at the same level, but the parentheses must be done first, going from left towards your right. And 3 plus 9 is going to give us 12. Take away 2, and 12 take away 2 now is going to give us 10, based on the rule of PEMDAS. Once we follow that concept, we should have no problem. So let's go over this one here. The rule says parentheses first. Oh, there's a big parenthesis here, so therefore we must work with that information. But like I said, once we have something in parentheses, PEMDAS then applies inside of it too. So what does it say inside? We have a parenthesis also, so therefore we must work with whatever is in parentheses. So now we work with this. What is inside? Well, we have exponents, so the exponent must be worked first, which gives us 6 squared, gives us 36 divided by 4, and then we just bring down the rest. Now we must use brackets first, the parentheses. So we say now 36 divided by 4 give us 9, and we bring down the rest. Now we apply from left to right. 3 plus 9 give us 12, minus 2 give us 10, and this is our solution. So now we go to our next problem with more parentheses, okay, and exponents. So here we go with the next one. Bring on the paper to here. And another example is as follows. Example. Consider that we have 54 divided by, open parenthesis, 3 squared, take away 20, take away 17, big parenthesis. Well, is that complicated? No. Once we have rules how to solve it, we should have no problem. So we go with PEMDAS again. What does PEMDAS say? PEMDAS say that parenthesis first. So what is in parentheses? Well, forget about this 54 here. Just imagine that this is in parentheses, because that's what they tell you. But when we look at parentheses inside of it, we need to apply PEMDAS inside of this. So when we apply PEMDAS only in this, we notice that there's bracket here, despite there's an exponent. We cannot do this exponent. We shouldn't do this exponent. We need to do parentheses first. So that's the parentheses. Okay. So when we work with this parentheses, we're working with this inside piece. So when we say 20 take away 17, that is going to give us 3. And then there's a big parenthesis minus, remember 20 take away 17 give us 3, and we bring down the 3 squared, and then we say divided by 54 divided by this. Now we're still in the parentheses. Remember we just got rid of the parentheses within the parentheses. So now according to PEMDAS we have parentheses still yet, so we look inside of parentheses, and when we look inside of the parentheses we have exponent. So therefore this exponent part must come. So bring down the 54 without doing much to the 54. We cannot do nothing much there. But we have 3 squared, and 3 squared is going to give us 9. Take away 3, close bracket, equals. So now we have brackets now, parentheses. So parentheses must be worked first. Despite we have subtraction here, notice this is what will come before this division, because this is in parentheses. So we have now 54 divided by, and 9 take away 3 is going to give us 6. So now we have division. It's no multiplication, but we have division. So now 54 divided by 6 is going to give us 9, and that's our solution for that one there. So for this type of problems, let's go summarize it again. PEMDAS, P E M D A S. You must do anything which is in parentheses first. Then you do exponents. Then you do multiplication. Then you do division. then addition, and then subtraction. And the order of operation says that you need to do work it from left to right. So that's how you work these problems here.